Have you ever wondered what it takes to change a heart hardened by betrayal? If so, then brace yourself for an enthralling tale from the Arabian Nights. In the heart of an ancient Arabian kingdom where the sands whisper secrets to the winds and the moon casts long shadows over the sprawling palaces, our tale begins. The stage is set, and the story that unfolds is one steeped in betrayal, revenge, wisdom, and change. At the center of this grand narrative is King Shahryar, a ruler of immense power and influence, his rule unchallenged and his wealth unparalleled. Yet beneath the golden crown and the glimmering robes lay a heart hardened by the bitter sting of betrayal. His wife, the queen, the jewel of his heart, had been unfaithful. The pain of this treachery was so profound that it transformed the once benevolent king into a man of cruelty and mistrust. He swore to never again fall prey to the deceit of a woman, and in his wrath he embarked on a merciless path, one that would cast a dark shadow over his kingdom. But even the darkest of tales have a beacon of hope, a flicker of light that promises change. In our story, this beacon comes in the form of a woman, a queen, Queen Scheherazade. A woman of matchless beauty and unparalleled wisdom, she would be the one to challenge the king's hardened heart. As we delve deeper into the tale, you'll find that it's not just a story of a king and a queen. It's a testament to the power of stories, the strength of wisdom, and the potential for change, even in the most hardened hearts. So prepare yourself as we embark on this journey through the golden sands of time, into the heart of an Arabian kingdom, and into the lives of King Shahryar and Queen Scheherazade. A tale of betrayal and revenge, yet as we will see, it's also a story of wisdom and change. Enter Scheherazade, the heroine of our tale, a woman of extraordinary wisdom and courage. This is not your ordinary damsel in distress. No, Scheherazade is a beacon of intelligence and bravery, a woman who dares to challenge the status quo. Born into a world where women were often seen but not heard, Scheherazade was different. This was a woman who refused to be silenced, a woman who used her intellect as her greatest weapon. She was well versed in the arts, sciences, and literature, her mind a treasure trove of stories, poems, and riddles. But more than her wisdom, it was her courage that set her apart. Imagine, if you will, being faced with a king whose heart was hardened by betrayal, a king who had vowed to marry a new bride every day only to have her executed the next morning, a king whose wrath knew no bounds. Such was his distrust for women. But did this deter Scheherazade? Far from it. It only hardened her resolve. She made a selfless decision, a decision that would put her life at stake. She chose to marry King Shahryar, but she was not stepping into this marriage blindly. No, she had a plan as brilliant as the woman herself. Every night she would tell the king a new story, a story so intriguing, so enthralling, that the king would postpone her execution just to hear the end of the story. And so, night after night, Scheherazade would weave tales of adventure, of love, of valor, and of wisdom. Each story a thread in the tapestry she was creating, a tapestry that she hoped would eventually change the king's ways. But this was no easy task. She was dealing with a king whose heart was as cold as ice, a heart that had forgotten how to trust, how to love. A clever plan, but will it be enough to soften a heart hardened by betrayal? Stories have the power to transport us to different worlds, but can they transform a heart? Every night, under the gaze of 1,000 stars, Scheherazade, the clever and captivating queen, would begin to weave her tapestry of tales. Each one was a world unto itself, filled with adventure, intrigue, and mystery. From the daring exploits of legendary heroes to the machinations of cunning villains, from the whimsical antics of mischievous sprites to the profound wisdom of ancient sages, her stories spanned the breadth of human experience and beyond. As the moon traced its path across the night sky, Scheherazade would guide King Shahryar on these fantastical journeys, her voice the ship and her words the wind. The king, once hardened by betrayal, began to look forward to these nocturnal voyages. He found himself caught in the web of her words, eagerly following the twists and turns of her narratives. Each dawn, as the first rays of the sun pierced the veil of night, Scheherazade would leave her tale unfinished. The king, entranced by her storytelling, would delay her execution day after day, yearning to hear the conclusion of the story the following night. And so the queen cleverly kept herself alive, one suspenseful tale at a time. But something more profound was happening. The king's fascination with the stories was slowly evolving into a fascination with the storyteller. He began to see Scheherazade not just as a captivating raconteur, but as a woman of wisdom, courage, and compassion. Her stories were not just entertaining, they were enlightening, opening his eyes to different perspectives, challenging his beliefs, stirring his emotions. The power of stories, it seemed, was not just in their ability to entertain, but also in their capacity to educate, to empathize, to inspire. Stories could indeed transform hearts. They could make a king see beyond his bitterness, could make him appreciate the beauty of life again, could make him realize the value of mercy and forgiveness. As the nights pass, the king finds himself captivated, not only by the stories, but by the storyteller herself. Can a man once filled with rage and bitterness truly change? A question that the tale of King Shahryar and Queen Scheherazade dares to answer. King Shahryar, a man once consumed by a tempest of wrath and despair, finds himself slowly but surely changing. His heart, once as hard as a stone, begins to soften, not with the passage of time, but with the magic of stories. Each tale spun by Scheherazade, the queen with a heart brave and wise, weaves a spell around the king. Night after night, Shahryar is drawn into the enchanting world of Scheherazade's stories. The tales of courage, love, and magic begin to wash away the king's bitterness, replacing it with curiosity, empathy, and a newfound understanding of the world and its many shades. The king, once a symbol of tyranny, starts to question his own decree, the one born out of fury and pain. He finds himself longing for the sunrise, not to fulfill his cruel decree, but to hear another tale from Scheherazade. In her stories, Shahryar discovers a world where justice prevails, where love conquers, and where wisdom is the most potent weapon. Scheherazade, with her unwavering patience and wisdom, achieves what force and intimidation could not. She transforms a tyrant into a just ruler, a bitter man into a compassionate king. Her stories become the balm to Shahryar's wounded heart, the light that pierces his darkness, the key that unlocks his empathy. And so King Shahryar, swayed by the power of stories and the wisdom of Scheherazade, revokes his cruel decree. He lets go of his past, his anger, his pain, and embraces a future shaped by understanding, empathy, and love. The transformation of King Shahryar serves as a testament to the power of stories, the strength of patience, and the might of wisdom. It shows us that change is possible, even in the most hardened hearts. In the end, it was not force, but wisdom and patience that brought about change. So what can we take away from this tale of love, wisdom, and transformation? Well, my dear friends, there's a plethora of lessons to be found within the intricate folds of this enchanting narrative. Firstly, we see the power of wisdom and patience. Scheherazade, our queen, was not only a masterful storyteller, but also an astute observer of human nature. She knew that the way to King Shahryar's heart was not through confrontation, but through the gentle, persistent power of storytelling. A story can be a mirror, reflecting to us aspects of ourselves that we might otherwise overlook. It takes wisdom to understand this and patience to use it effectively. Next, we observe the transformative potential of stories. King Shahryar, who started off as a cruel and distrustful ruler, was eventually swayed by Scheherazade's tales. He was drawn into the stories, empathizing with the characters, feeling their joys and their pains as his own. In doing so, he began to see the world through a different lens. His heart softened, his mind opened, and he became a changed man. Stories, it seems, have the power to alter not just our perspectives, but our very selves. But perhaps the most poignant lesson is the importance of understanding and empathy in changing hearts. Scheherazade did not seek to defeat the king, but to help him see the error of his ways. She used her stories to foster empathy, to help him understand the pain he was causing. It was this empathy, this understanding, that ultimately led to his transformation. And so we learn that it is not through force, but through understanding, patience, and the power of a good story that we can truly change the world. It's a lesson that's as relevant today as it was in the days of King Shahryar and Queen Scheherazade. a timeless truth woven into the fabric of a tale that continues to captivate us centuries later.